So the vast majority of the day today we're going to talk about what I feel is the most important part of what you all do, and that's answering the phone. Because nothing happens, like I explained yesterday, nobody can earn a paycheck in the business till we get a customer in the shop. So we're going to spend the majority of today kind of working on that so we can you can really drill down in a bunch of different areas and become experts at that.
For the CSRs that are in the room that maybe are new to our system and how to handle the incoming phone calls, we're going to get a little bit in depth in this in the beginning because it's important for you guys to know that when we get into the role-playing side of things.
Unless you're near a mall or something like that, you don't get a whole lot of walk-up traffic. The majority of the customers come in via the phone. So what's the entry point? You know what I mean? It's almost, if you kind of look at it like a funnel maybe, you know, the phone sits at the top and all the customers kind of pour in through that funnel and then they come out on the bottom. So the better job that we can do in answering that phone and getting them to come into the shop, the more customers we're going to have coming out the bottom of the funnel.
Your number one job, aside of everything else we went through yesterday, is handling those incoming phone calls. That's the biggest, it have the biggest impact on the business. That's your number one job.
My mind just always goes into the numbers. So I want to share with you just how important it is to try to get that phone answered and what kind of money is at stake if we don't do our job. So we talked about the last time an average ticket, and I just used $275 as a ballpark figure. I like to think a lot of times on the phone, sometimes they're more because a lot of times it's a broken car. Somebody's responding off a yellow page ad or something like that. It could be double that number. But if I just miss, you know, you get 10, 15 phone calls a day and I just miss one of them, what kind of money it costs you? So let's use $275 as an average. Does that seem reasonable? So if I just miss one call a day in a week, it comes to $1375. So in a month, if you do the math, and I used a 5-day work week, if you're open 6 days, it's more. Almost $6,000 in a month. In a year, it comes out to $71,500. A lot of money when you start looking at it that way, how it adds up. And I know, you know, we work at it, you know, really, really hard in our shop, and we still probably miss a call a day. It was probably 5 calls a day before that, before we start really drilling down in this. I don't know if it was 2 calls a day, it's almost $150,000.
That the 275 is probably a much, much lower number than what it should be. And the reason being is because the ones that we're actually missing are having a hard time getting in the shop are the price shoppers or the individual that have broken cars, and those usually are anywhere between 2 to 3 times our normal average ticket. Once we put the system in place, not only to make it a lot easier in the shop and it was less stressful and better customer service, but at the same time what it did, it allowed us to be able to convert those individuals into appointments much easier.
So it makes a big difference today. You know, the cars are built a lot better when instead of a lot full of, you know, 100 broken cars a month, now I'm kind of whittling that down and you might only have a couple of broken cars a day. So it's really, really important that we're able to capitalize on every one of those broken cars because, you know, it's a small pickings out there. You know, it's safe to say you got a much higher average ticket like we talked about. Those are the cars with fuel pumps or whatever. Usually when you have a broken car in your lot, you've got a pretty good chance that you're going to do the repair on the car. It's like a 911 emergency for that person. So it's not, well, let me take a look at this. Let me take a look at the schedule. Let me see when we can get you in. That car has to come in now. If it's 5 o'clock on a Friday, it's got to come in now. You may not be repairing the car right now, but the car's got to come in now, and then we'll worry about what to do with it once the vehicle gets here.
So when you get that phone call, you should be very, very happy that you got it.
When that customer calls, those first 15 seconds, do you think if maybe a mom with kids in the car, minivan, sitting on I-95 or picked up closest freeway in your town with steam coming out of her hood, if they called your shop and you were in a hurry and said, hold please, I don't think I would wait 15 seconds. 15 seconds feels like an eternity when you're put on hold. So it's really, really important that you're ready when ready happens. So one of the things we're going to talk about